Podcast. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Rodney Coles. We are here again. We had to go for part two. Part one wasn't good enough for me and Mrs. Virginia Garcia. We had to go to part two. She is still here, and we're going to go and continue the conversation. In the last conversation we were speaking on, I was talking about marriage. I was talking about how I thank God for my wife. I thank God for my mother. I thank God for the females, what y'all bring to the table. You bring so much to us, and I say this: thank you.
You are quite welcome. I think that it is important to recognize the integral part that women do play in our lives. I would say, in particular, African American women, in regards to their existence in this country, have had to step into roles sometimes that maybe many other women have not had to, just because of the nature of how our ancestors, many of our ancestors, were brought here, and so. I would like to say thank you on behalf of NCNW, GPCAS, the Greenville Pitt County Area Section, for having us here today, or me here today. I am Regina Yvette Carter Garcia, first Vice President of the Greenville Pitt County Area Section of the National Council of Negro Women Incorporated. And we're just delighted to have the opportunity to be able to speak about what who we are and what we're doing. We like to encourage people to come on and join with us to help Greenville, Pitt County be a better, stronger place.
And the service that you're helping them with, as you're working with finance, helping them with entrepreneur business. I mean, for the females, African American females, the Negro women, and these are things you're offering to them to be a part of this network. Am I correct?
That is correct. In this virtual climate, a lot of what we do has to be done socially distant and virtually. So that has maybe changed just a little bit the nature, not of what we do, but of how we do it. So we have a national initiative called For the Future. And under that banner, we attempt to exact programs in the community that focus on financial literacy, education, particularly science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Also, we have a focus on civic civic activism, social justice, and then health. Because that's where it all starts. We need to be able to help people get to a point of their best health, and so we look at that in regards to the physical, the mental, and the emotional development of people, and we try to address that through various projects. We actually started in this community in 2017. Our founder, Mrs. Hattie Perry Williams, was a member of NCNW in New York, in Queens, New York, and she, when she moved down to the area, she's a transplant, came from New York to North Carolina, much as you did, and knew the value of the organization and wanted to start one here in Greenville. And so in 2017, after going through that whole period of interest group and finding women who were interested in doing or being a part of an organization like that, GPCAS came into existence as a chartered entity. And so we began work in this community 2017. Our first president was Sister Alana Smith Pierce, and she led us very aptly. If you've ever met her, she's full of energy and ready to do ready to do and serve and all of that. And we have grown. And now we are under the leadership of our new president, She was just installed. Sister Mia Ely. She is wonderful in regards to a wonderful asset. She's great with technology. Some of us are not as great with technology, but but she is, and so she is bringing. I think it's really wonderful that, especially at this time when we have to rely on it so much, she has we feel more secure, I think, in being able to exact these programs in careful ways, because not only do we want to help our community, we want to also feel safe. And so that is how we kind of got started here and who we are. So I would say that, one of the initiatives that we are working with right now is this distribution of PPE. So masks and those masks, the masks, the good ones. What is it? N95.
95.
That's right. N95. Those masks. So we've actually been given a grant and gotten materials and are able to disperse them with the area shelters, the community crossroads, and the domestic violence shelter, and some of the other churches. We really want to get them in the hands of people who really need them, who might tend to be a little bit more exposed than others, or maybe have some conditions that are compromising, that might make them more susceptible to COVID. So we're doing that. But while we're doing that, we are talking about voter registration and voter education. And so that is just kind of, those are a couple of the things that we are actually engaging in right now. And what we're really trying to do is to address what's going on in the community, in the world, right now.
The work that you guys do, I've been following you, and actually on the when we get to the mail part, I talk my part. In that working with them with the masks, making sure they have that, volunteering. You're like an outreach. You're like a group that you really come together with education one another, but also come out of the box while going into the community and getting everyone involved. And I remember coming to the first, I think it was the first meeting you had at the Shepherd Library, where I was there when I think that was probably the first meeting you got the mail part in. I might be at that time, maybe in 18, I'm not sure anymore.
Right.
But the work that you guys do, even with the voting registration and getting out there, like, yes, Ms. Pierce, she is a person, she's just like you. When you have a group of folks that really about consistent and committed and getting something done, it make it easy on everybody, not somebody got to take all the weight. You know? And that's what I love about what you guys are doing. You guys are just continue building and moving forward and bringing the right people in and helping those who need help in there. And that's, to me, is so powerful. And then you got together, you started a men group. I'll let you talk a little bit about that and I'll slide in.
Well, our Charles L. Franklin Assembly, they are the male auxiliary arm of NCNW, but they are, just a powerhouse component of NCNW. We very often work together to get our programming done. You rarely see maybe a picture or footage of us doing anything in the community where you don't see a member of the Charles L. Franklin Assembly, and usually and often it's several members. They are very focused on the same things that we are. There is power in numbers. I remember the very first thing that I participated in which they sponsored on their own was a candidates forum, because they recognize the importance of being able to know the people who want to represent, because representation matters. And I know we hear that a lot right now. Certainly, we are dealing with that a lot. Right now, you need to have people in office who are concerned with our communities, our families, and I mean this in a very holistic way in regards to society. It's not just racial or socioeconomic or those things, but we want to educate people about being able to identify what's going to be best for them and their families. And so I'm really impressed with that. We have some heavy hitters in our Charles L. Franklin Assembly as well, and so we're always excited to partner with them. So if you're a man out there and you are interested in being a part of NCNW through the Charles L. Franklin Male Assembly, you are invited. You don't have to be married to a woman from NCNW. You can come on in, because they are certainly walking in their own truth right now, and making sure that things are going right in their communities.
And I wanted to share a little bit about that. I am a member of the Male, and I had to move myself up a few boards, and I'm getting more involved with it this year and pushing what needs to be done. Because I have learned that you may be on too many boards, and you got to take yourself off certain boards so you can be more efficient. So I know that a few boards already removed myself off. So as I'm moving forward, and it's for the men's really to be a part of it. I think it's just to be around the females who have these wisdom that they're walking with, but for males, for us men's to come together and to talk and how we can work things together. To me, that is so powerful for us, and do the service and do the work. Because as we left off the other show, and I truly believe that we are really here for each other. How do we come together? How do we work together? How do we to stay on the mission and don't allow ego to get in the way? And this is all about mission, and that's what you guys do. Mission driving.
Mission, right? It is mission. It's mission in what we do, and when we're operating. I think I talked a little bit about earlier, operating in truth, operating in love. I really think you can't have one without the other. You can't say you love society and you don't see what's happening, and you're not able to you're hesitant to speak on it. They go hand in hand. I think another important piece of all of that is that we are our children are looking at us, and so in order for us to bring into society, or to hand over the reins at some point, we have to have children who have grown into people who are ready for that challenge, because there will always be challenges. But I think it really does matter what children see and what children hear you say. They know when you say one thing and you do another, and they're studying you, and ultimately it can reflect in the kind of citizens they grow up to be. And we want to believe that we are presenting ourselves or modeling, or living that having that day-to-day living in which we are almost walking sermons.
I'm going to say this on air, and there's mothers and there's with children, and some mothers don't know how to be a mother out here. Not everybody, of course, parent did not come with a manual.
Right.
And then it's something that we continue learning and self-learn, and you learn the best. But there's probably parents, moms, and looking at this broadcast, and may have one or maybe 2 or 3 children, and still of a loss of direction. And I think that this is something for them to kind of be a part of, to kind of understand, because I always believe in being around folks with wisdom, being around folks who have of understanding. I mean, in this generation, and I can say my opinion, my wife should say your opinion, because it ain't facts. But my opinion, I believe that we're lost. The mothers are lost. They have more. They dealing with finance. They don't have understanding of what we have went through and understand the old school and how we make it work when they say there's no food in the house where make a bologna sandwich or you fry bologna. Somebody don't know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Amen. I'm glad we're the same page. But I think that they're lost, and I think that having such a group like this for the females is an area, and also for the men, but for the females, for them to be around, because listen, I've been around y'all. This is a lot of, when I come around, there's a lot of wisdom of things y'all can bring in. There's some of us don't know how to be parents, and then looking at men, a lot of us don't know how to be a husband. And these are the key thing you said earlier, family. And that's how, and our children is watching us. Our children, as you said, they study us, everything we do. If we lie, listen, they lie.
Right.
If you tell them, who's that? Tell them I'm not home. My mama say, she's not home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're teaching them.
Right.
But I'm really grateful that this program is here because it's needed. Because what happened is this union which you have is not about people just trying to be who they are. You got folks that have understanding. You got education people that understand it. I'm back and saying that if you're the smartest one in your group, you need to have these understanding, with folks that have understanding that can go down to the bottom of them, So I just say that. I probably went a little crazy for a minute, but I just want to say how I feel that, as mothers, y'all listen at this broadcast and you're saying, how could you be a part of something that you're going through? I mean, no, it's not easy. Sometimes I know parents that their mother never even said they love them. They never in experience said, "Mommy, say I love you," and don't know how to say that because they wasn't taught that. And we're going through it. And sometimes we start looking for love in all the wrong places, all the wrong faces, and getting caught up in society. It's not getting caught up with God wants us to be. But God had already made the plan and put people in front of us to talk to us and to be a part of something that you can grow into. So I'm praying that as you're watching this broadcast, you're going to say to yourself, I need to do something better with myself, and I need to be around some of these wisdom. Nobody trying to be your mother, but just trying to have that wisdom, education, things that they can bring to the table with you. That is so important.
Yes, it is quite important. I would like to say, being an instructor at a community college, I do see, however, many women who are attempting to move higher. They know that they have to gain an education, which is something we're passionate about as well. They have to gain that education in order to better themselves for their family, for their families. They want to perhaps sometimes get out of the places that they're in, sometimes even out of the situations. Maybe they are surrounded by people who may not always have their best interest, who may be toxic. We are focused as an organization on paying attention. We do our part. Hopefully other organizations do their part, and it becomes this impact that is so valuable to people who are trying to move forward. Sometimes people want to move forward. They don't know how, and they need a hand.
Yes.
And so thankfully, we have the opportunity to make a difference. And that is what's really, important. And that's what I love about NCNW, that we, again, are that organization of organizations, that we can partner with people across our community, that we can lift up people who may be considered the least of these, and bring them to a place where they can one day look back and bring up others who fall into that, who may fall into that category. And certainly, I don't I'm not an advocate for classism, but classism is real. And so because of the real in that the human mind automatically wants to place people in certain positions. And so we fight that. That's why social justice is also part of our programming. We want people to be educated about ways that they can advocate for themselves, and so thus voter registration, thus voter education. We don't tell people who to vote for, but we do tell people they need to vote, and we stress the importance of being informed and making those informed decisions. So again, when we think about our role in the community, what I really want people to do is to find some way to serve. It can be through Greenville Pitt County Area Section. You can be a man or a woman. You can just come on and join us and help us to do that, to get there. But if not, if you say my schedule is so busy, I can't make those meetings, I can't go to all of that, find a way to serve. Martin Luther King says in his drum major instinct, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. And that's kind of what I want to, part of what I want to leave. Of course, I want to leave with you a knowledge of the fact that we are here and we are working, and we are an organization of women, NCNW, and men, Charles L. Franklin Assembly, who desires for Greenville, Pitt County area, indeed the state of North Carolina, indeed the world, to do what it needs to do so that we can live in some increased harmony.
Well, we know we're coming close to the end. How can we join? If there's a contact, they've been waiting for this day. How could we join on?
Well, okay, I'm going to tell you. It's so simple. Go to ncnw.org. That's ncnw.org. And when you get there, click on the membership tab.
All right.
Yes. And it will take you to a page that will help you identify which section you need to be in. If you're in this area, you would, of course, choose Greenville Pitt County Area Section, GPCAS. And it will give you a choice. If you're a man, you're going to click on Charles L. Franklin. If you're not, But it's very self-explanatory. Again, that's ncnw.org. Click on that membership tab. Once you register, and you sign up, they'll let us know. And Miss Alana, who is now our second vice president, and that means she's the membership chair, she will hunt you down.
She will.
And bring you in. Yes, and we will be President Ely, Miss Alana, myself. Even if you're on the campus of East Carolina University, and I know in this semester the students are not doing face-to-face classes, but hopefully soon they'll be back at it. If you're on the campus of East Carolina University, we do have a campus section, East Carolina University. But if not, you can come on and join us.
Join on.
Just join us.
I want to say, Ms. Garcia, thank you so much. I enjoy having you on the broadcast. Please join on ncnw.org. Go to the membership page. We also will take donations. If you want to help contribute, it takes donations also to help move things. As she said, you can serve. I believe service is the rent you pay for the space you take up on earth. We thank God as we continue moving forward, as we are looking at ncnw.org. Join on. God bless. See you at the next broadcast.